Did it happen to you? As the countdown began to HBO's House of the Dragon premiere, were you nostalgically taken back to a time years ago when you made sure you were in front of a television when the newest episode of Game of Thrones was airing? Even fans who are still holding on to the bitter taste left in their mouths by the end of Game of Thrones had to feel excitement building as tonight's episode began. And who's not back in 100% after this premiere? From the opening scene where King Jaehaerys named his heir, to the final shot of the episode where Rhaenyra is taking in the whirlwind of life-changing circumstances that just came her way, House of the Dragon is already carrying the weight of storytelling its predecessor did. We're introduced to a whole host of new characters. We're taken back around 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, which the show distinctly points out near the beginning of the episode. They did jab a finger into the open wound of Daenerys fans with that on-screen text, but it was to ensure everyone understood exactly when this story is taking place. Overall, this episode lived up to the hype, and better yet, to the expectations. Undoubtedly, the story, as well as every character, will be compared and contrasted with those of the previous show. The first time Rhaenyra climbed down from a dragon, I thought, yep, discount Daenerys. However, throughout the episode, I felt she became her own character and wasn't just a stand-in for a character long gone. In the future. The juxtaposition of the tourney and Aemma Arryn's labor is well executed. As soon as it began, I was taken back to the conversation between Aemma and Rhaenyra, telling her, the childbed is our battlefield. To then watch her be sacrificed for a chance to save the baby made that statement hit home even more. Blood was being spilled on the tourney grounds while her blood was being spilled in her birthing bed. The absence of her consent to the decision of her husband makes it even more haunting. An impossible situation. Kept in the dark as to her fate until the blade was to bear down on her as midwives took their places to hold her down. Did anyone else get Handmaid's Tale vibes? We'll never know if given the same information if she'd chosen the same fate she was forced to endure. A better chance your baby could be saved if your life is forfeited, or a small chance you both live but more probable you both don't. This is the most crucial point in the episode, a culmination of what came before and setting up what's to come. By the end, the Targaryen family is pitted against each other with King Viserys choosing to name his daughter as his heir. My favorite line. There were some strong contenders in this episode, but this one stood out. I'm sorry, Rhaenyra. I have wasted the years since you were born, wanting for a son. Most fathers want a son, like most mothers want a daughter. There's no shame in that. We want someone like us to share experiences with that we had when we were children, or want to give experiences to our offspring that we didn't have. King Viserys in this situation is different. He feels the pressure of the Seven Kingdoms bearing down on him to produce a son to be named heir to the throne. He understands the politics involved in bucking the system and doing something like what he eventually does. In this line, he expresses regret over many things all at once. He never meant to make his daughter feel like a second-class child, even though he did. He regrets that as king, he has the power to rewrite the laws of the land, but didn't. What's the point of having power if you can't use it to shape the future as you see fit? That leads exactly to why he chose her in the first place. He knows his brothers shouldn't ever sit upon the Iron Throne. Lastly, he regrets how much time he wasted. He could have spent Rhaenyra's childhood grooming her for the throne, teaching her and guiding her on her path to becoming a ruler, his heir through which his descendants would continue to rule Westeros. Highlights. Beyond the turn brawl being juxtaposed with childbirths, little things did stand out. Did anyone else rewind the guy throwing up during the tourney? The way he just showed up as the body was being dragged away? He vomits violently, then drops to his knees holding his mouth as more comes out. I'm usually not a big fan of toilet or potty humor, but this came across as comedic to me when I don't think it was intended that way at all. The brutality of the fight scenes work well for me. It's supposed to be jarring. It's supposed to be violent and disgusting. It adds gravity and realism to the narrative of violence. Princess Rhaenys and Lord Corlys Velaryon's conversation while the tourney fight was happening was a nice touch. So many new characters were introduced to us, but let's tackle a few. I'm on the fence about King Viserys Targaryen. On one hand, not even discussing with his wife the options before them was awful. He decided to end her life without even talking to her about it. On the other hand, he's not an incompetent ruler or person. He understands his brother is ill fit to rule the Seven Kingdoms. He does listen to his small council and considers their opinions, even if they are leading him sometimes. Choosing Rhaenyra as his heir is something an open-minded and forward-thinking person would consider. The same as not forcing his brother upon the realm, or even allowing him to act as hand of the king. Does the good outweigh the bad? Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen herself is a different person by the end of episode 1. Regardless of her being dismissive about her position with her friend Alicent Hightower, Rhaenyra is defined by not being born a male. She felt her father never wanted her and it hurt her as it would anyone. Once her father declares her as his heir, she is now who she's wanted the chance to be. She feels an acceptance from her father that she's been lacking her entire life. Will there be more to her going forward than just her pursuit of the throne? Prince Daemon Targaryen is a character who feels his brother wronged him. Celebrating the death of your brother's wife and child's passing didn't seem like a bridge too far for Daemon. He wanted the throne even if his brother couldn't see it until after the reports from the brothel party came in. This sets up Daemon as our main antagonist and pits him against his own family. It's going to be interesting to see the difference between his relationship with Rhaenyra before she was named heir and now after. All in all, there's so much to be excited about with House of the Dragon. While we know certain things like the fact that Rhaenyra won't end up on the throne, the story is set up to tell an intriguing story along the way. There is the possibility of Rhaenyra sitting on the Iron Throne at some point during the season, but eventually losing it. History is written by the victors, as we know, so her reign, however brief, could be potentially erased from history. Just a thought as to how this season could implement twists, seeing as how we, the viewers, already know the chronology of who sits on the Iron Throne, and Rhaenyra's name isn't on that list. The casting suggests two different timelines, but will it be one story told then we jump forward in time, or dual stories happening at two different times being told at the same time? Both could be interesting. Appointment Television has returned, and House of the Dragon has ensured where I'll be on Sunday evening for the next couple of months.